Hi, Adam. Peng, San Jose Hockey now. Congratulations on your contract.
Thank you. I'm very excited about it.
Adam, wanted to ask you first, what made you choose the Sharks over other offers that I'm sure you received?
Well, you know, I feel like, last year and there was kind of some talks and interest from San Jose, and it has always been, a spot where I felt like I could fit and get a good opportunity here. And, there's a lot of being from Braintree, Mass, playing at Northeastern. There's obviously a lot of Boston college hockey connections there. And, the it was kind of really what I was looking for in this contract, and going to get a good opportunity to play here and continue to prove myself. So it just felt like a really good fit.
Where do you see your fit with the Sharks this year? What do you think you bring the Sharks?
Um, you know, Somewhat similar of a role that I played last year with being a bottom six guy, and then versatility. Can be moved up and down, play center or wing, utilize on the power play and penalty kill, and just come in with I've been a bunch of different places, so learned a lot from a lot of different people, and I think that'll help pass that along to some of the younger guys, and I think it's going to be a fun year.
You mentioned choosing the Sharks, the contract. How many teams were you seriously considering an end there?
It's tough to say. There was it all depended on kind of how things went with more of the top guys in free agency. So, this kind of came up, and we took it pretty quick, and we were excited about it. But it's free agency is crazy. You never really know until you know. So. That's kind of how it was this year, and I'm glad it worked out this way.
We talked with Phil Kurashev this morning. He says that he knows you. You also mentioned the Boston connections. Who else do you know in the Sharks organization?
Yeah, I played with Philly and Chicago, so I got to know him a little bit there. I've played with Toffoli in Vancouver and got to know him a little bit. I think I've played with Lilgren and briefly in training camp in Toronto before I went down to the Marlies. So um, also played with Ned coming in. We played World Championships one year, so got a few familiar faces there, which is always nice coming into a new team.
Have any of these former teammates, have they reached out to you yet?
Yeah, I talked to a few of them. It's nice when guys reach out and welcome me into a new space like that, and a lot of excitement around, and I'm really excited to get out there.
And finally, I just wanted to ask you just sort of the track of your career. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you had a pretty good season in Vancouver. You had 33 points. It seems like since then it's been maybe a little bit up and down, but then last year you found some consistency there, career high in goals. Can you just kind of talk about the last few years and maybe trying to find a consistency in your game or just what's been sort of going on?
Yeah, I think I took those years and did a lot of maturing, a lot of developing and learning. And early on in my career, I was called up pretty quick, whereas maybe I should have been in the AHL a little longer. And being back down there and putting the work boots on and working on what I needed to work on to become a everyday NHL player is that was my main focus. And I knew if I just put the work in, I get back there um, up top, and set myself up with a good opportunity, and then just had to take advantage of that opportunity.
Is that maybe what you've learned the most over the years, just the consistent effort maybe then? Is that probably the primary thing that you've gotten better at?
No, I think that's been one of my strong suits my whole career is the work ethic and doing the right things to get better. So it wasn't anything new to me. I was always kind of been an underdog type, and um, people doubting and whatnot. And, but I know my capabilities and I know what I can do. So I always believed in myself, and, I just trusted the process and kept my head down and kept working.
All right, Adam, I look forward to meeting you. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
X.
Hey Adam, Max Miller here from NHL.com and Sharks Hockey Digest. Congratulations on the deal.
Thank you.
You just touched on some of the consistency and stuff there, but what about San Jose and what they're building, I guess, on the ice is really attracting, what to be able to continue that consistency. What about the players here did Mike talk to you about really gives you the confidence that that consistency can continue in a different location?
I mean, it's a real exciting group with a lot of good young skill. And I remember last year when we were in San Jose for the first time, kind of the talk around the locker room was, how good these young guys were and how we were impressed by them. So it's real exciting times here, and it's always it's a good feeling when you're a part of a successful rebuild and getting the team to where they know they can be, and it's I'm excited to be one of those guys that they want to bring in to help take this thing to the next level. And like I said, a lot of excitement, a lot of real good young players and some good leaders, older leaders, and it's a good recipe for some success.
Obviously, Ottawa had been trying to get into the postseason for a while, and they finally got in, and they added a guy like Fabian Zetterlund. Did he reach out to you at all and say anything about maybe William Eklund or anything in San Jose?
Not recently, but I chatted with him before when he came over, and said it's a great group of guys. He really liked it there with the group, and that's an important part of having a good hockey team is having a room full of guys that everybody gets along with and everybody's tight with, and you do things together on the road, and you're hanging out a lot, and that helps on the ice for sure.
And the contract that you signed with the Sharks, you talked about, up and down and things like that, but now you signed a 2-year deal here. How much security does that give you after maybe bouncing around? You get that 2-year deal and a little bit of security in that you know where you're going to be at least on paper for the next couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is my first multi-year contract since my entry level contract, and it's definitely taken a lot off our shoulders, and finding housing and whatnot, and planning for the next 2 years. Whereas like last couple of years, not knowing where we are going to be, having to make the team, and being away from my family. So it's we're very thankful that now we get to get settled in early and get the whole family out there, and kind of settle in and find a spot, make it our home for the next, I don't know, 8 9 months of the season. And it's definitely relieving, and we're grateful for it.
And then just the last one for me here, where the push is and Ottawa's trying to get over the hump, like I mentioned. What experience and what advice maybe did you kind of get during that time when you guys are trying to clinch that playoff spot and not slide out, that you can bring this young group in San Jose and really bring that to here?
Yeah, I think a big thing was not getting too high, not getting too low. Just staying steady, and trusting the process, and believing in ourselves too. I think a couple times we lost maybe two or three in a row, and we kind of looked at ourselves and said, "Hey, that's not us," and we're not going to get frustrated with it. We're just going to trust our game plan, and get a win the next night. And I think that's important, is leaving things in the past, not carrying things into the next game or the next day, and learning from your mistakes, whether it be on video or whatnot. And I think that's what mature teams do, and that's probably one of the most important things that these teams that are winning and making it to the playoffs are doing.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. Looking forward to seeing you out here.
Thank you too.